You turn the key. The engine turns over. It sounds like it is trying. It is not silent. It is not just clicking. It is not completely dead. The engine is cranking, but it never starts. And that is the part that makes this problem so confusing, because when an engine cranks, it feels like the car is almost there. You can hear movement. You can hear the starter doing something. You may even feel like one more try will make it start. But if the engine keeps cranking and never runs, your car is not just being stubborn. It is missing something. Not usually a starter, not usually an alternator, and not always the battery. The engine is already turning, so the real question is different. What is missing after the engine starts spinning? That is how you need to think about this problem. A car engine does not run just because it turns. Turning is only the first step. After that, the engine needs the right fuel, the right spark, the right air, the right compression, and the right signal from the computer at the right moment. If one of those pieces is missing, the engine can crank again and again, but it will not actually start. So let's diagnose this from the driver's seat first. Not by guessing parts, not by replacing the fuel pump because someone online said so, not by replacing the starter when the engine is already cranking, just by listening to what the car is doing and narrowing down what the engine is missing. The first clue is the crank itself. When you try to start the car, does the engine turn over at a normal speed? A normal crank has a steady rhythm. It sounds even. It sounds like the engine usually sounds right before it starts. If that is what you hear, the battery and starter are probably strong enough to spin the engine. That does not mean the battery is perfect, but it means the no start problem is probably not a simple dead battery or bad starter. The starter has already done its first job. It has turned the engine. Now the engine needs something else to come alive. But if the crank is slow, weak, or tired sounding, stop right there. A weak battery can still crank the engine, but not fast enough for the car to start properly. Modern engines need good cranking speed. The computer needs stable voltage. The fuel injectors need enough power. The ignition coils need enough power. The sensors need to send clean signals. So if the engine turns slowly, the dashboard flickers, or the lights dim hard while cranking, you cannot completely rule out the battery. You may have enough power to make the engine move, but not enough power to make the engine run. That is why the sound matters. A slow crank tells you to check battery power and battery connections first. A normal crank tells you to look deeper. Now let's say the crank sounds normal. The engine spins with confidence, but it does not start. The next clue is what happened before this moment. Did the car drive normally yesterday, then suddenly refuse to start today? Did it get harder to start over several days? Did it sputter before it died? Did it stall at a stoplight? Did it shut off suddenly while driving? Did it happen right after filling up with gas? Did it happen after rain? Did it happen after a repair? Those details are not small. They are the trail. If the car was slowly getting harder to start, that can point toward a weak fuel pump, low fuel pressure, dirty sensors, or ignition problems getting worse over time. If the car suddenly shut off while driving, that can point toward loss of fuel, loss of spark, a sensor signal failure, or a timing problem. If it starts for 1 second and dies, that points a different way. If it never even tries to catch, that also points a different way. The mistake many drivers make is treating every crank no start the same, but the engine's behavior changes the path. So now listen again. When you crank the engine, does it sound like it wants to start? Maybe it coughs once. Maybe it fires for half a second. Maybe it almost catches, then goes back to cranking. That little attempt matters. If the engine almost starts, it may be getting some fuel and some spark, but not enough to keep running. That could be low fuel pressure. It could be an airflow problem. It could be a sensor giving bad information. It could be an immobilizer issue on some vehicles. But if the engine cranks and never even tries to fire, that feels different. That can happen when fuel is not reaching the engine. It can happen when there is no spark. It can happen when the computer is missing a crank signal. It can happen when the engine is out of time. The sound helps you separate a weak attempt from a completely lifeless crank. Now think about fuel. Fuel is one of the most common missing pieces, but fuel problems are not always as simple as an empty tank or a bad fuel pump. Start with the obvious. Is there enough gas in the tank? That sounds too simple, but it happens more often than people admit. Fuel gauges can be inaccurate. A car parked on a hill can act differently when the fuel level is very low, and sometimes the gauge says there is still fuel, but the pump is not able to pick it up properly. If the car cranks normally, but never catches and the fuel level is low, do not overcomplicate it yet. Add fuel first if it is safe to do so. But if there is fuel in the tank, think about how the car acted before it stopped starting. A weak fuel pump often gives warnings. The engine may take longer to start. It may struggle more when the tank is low. It may lose power under acceleration. It may sputter, then recover. It may stall, then restart after a few minutes. Sometimes a fuel pump works when it is cool, then fails when it gets hot. That can make the problem feel random. One day the car starts. Later it cranks but will not start. Then after sitting, it starts again. That pattern can point toward a fuel delivery issue, but it still does not prove the pump itself is bad. The pump needs power. It needs a relay. It needs a fuse. It needs wiring. And the engine needs enough pressure, not just some fuel. This is where money gets wasted. Someone hears the car crank with no start, guesses fuel pump, replaces it, and the car still will not start. Why? Because the missing piece was not the pump. It could have been a relay, a fuse, a wiring issue, a sensor signal, or the computer not commanding the pump correctly. So, if fuel is suspected, the question is not, should I replace the fuel pump? The better question is the engine actually getting the fuel pressure it needs? That is a very different question. Now look for another clue. Do you smell strong fuel after cranking? If you do, be careful. A strong raw fuel smell can mean fuel is entering the engine, but not burning. That can point toward a spark problem, flooding, or another issue that stops combustion. It can also become a safety concern. Do not keep cranking over and over if you smell strong fuel. Let the area air out. Avoid sparks, flames, or anything that could ignite vapors. That fuel smell changes the diagnosis. If there is a strong fuel smell, the engine may not be missing fuel, it may be missing spark. Spark is what lights the fuel and air mixture. Without spark, the engine can crank normally, but the fuel never burns. From the driver's seat, a no spark problem can feel like the engine is empty inside. It turns, it turns, it turns, but it never fires. Sometimes there is a fuel smell. Sometimes the car shut off suddenly before this happened. Sometimes the check engine light was flashing earlier because the engine was misfiring. Sometimes the car had rough running, shaking, or poor acceleration before the final no start. But spark problems are not always just spark plugs. This is another place where drivers waste money. If one spark plug is bad, the engine may run badly, but it usually does not stop the whole engine from starting. If one ignition coil fails, many engines will still start, but run rough. For the whole engine to crank and never start, you may be looking at something that affects the entire ignition system. That could be a crankshaft position sensor, a camshaft position sensor, an ignition module on some vehicles, a main relay, a wiring issue, or a computer signal problem. The crankshaft position sensor is especially important. It tells the computer where the engine is while it is spinning. If that signal is missing, the computer may not know when to fire the spark plugs. It may not know when to pulse the injectors. So the starter can turn the engine, but the computer does not have the timing information it needs. A common clue is a car that stalls suddenly, then cranks but will not restart. Sometimes it starts again after cooling down. Sometimes the tachometer does not move while cranking on vehicles where it normally does. Sometimes there is a code stored, but not always. That is why a scan tool can help. Not because a code gives the full answer, but because it can point toward the missing signal. Now move to air. Air usually gets less attention. Because most people think an engine can always breathe, but an air problem can absolutely cause a crank no start or a start and die situation. The engine needs the right amount of air, not too little, not too much unmeasured air, and the computer needs to understand how much air is entering. If the intake is blocked, the engine can struggle to start. If a large vacuum leak lets in too much air, the mixture may be too lean. If the throttle body is dirty or sticking, the engine may not get the correct airflow at idle. If the mass airflow sensor or MAP sensor sends wrong information, the computer may deliver the wrong amount of fuel. From the driver's seat, air-related problems often leave clues before the no start. Maybe the engine had a rough idle. Maybe it stalled when you stopped. Maybe it started only when you pressed the gas pedal slightly. Maybe it idled too low. Maybe it surged. Maybe it had hesitation when accelerating. If the engine cranks, almost starts, and then dies unless you touch the gas, that can point toward an airflow or idle control issue. On many modern cars, you normally should not need to press the gas pedal to start. So if pressing the pedal changes the behavior, that is a clue. It does not prove the throttle body is bad. It does not prove the air sensor is bad, but it tells you the engine may be struggling with the air and fuel balance at startup. Now let's talk about a start and die problem. This is different from endless cranking. The engine fires. For 1 second, it sounds like it started. Then it shuts off. That short moment is important because it tells you the engine did get something. It got enough fuel and spark to begin running, but something stopped it from staying alive. One possible reason is security. Modern cars use immobilizer systems. If the car does not recognize the key properly, it may block fuel, spark, or engine operation. Sometimes the engine cranks but does not start. Sometimes it starts for a second and dies. Sometimes the dashboard shows a key symbol, a security light, or a message. If this happened after changing a key, changing a battery, jump-starting the car, or having electrical work done, pay close attention to the security light. A security problem can look like a fuel problem. It can look like a bad starter. It can look like a random electrical problem, but the car may simply not be giving permission for the engine to keep running. That is why dashboard messages matter. Do not treat them like background decoration. They can stop you from buying the wrong part. Now think about the engine's physical condition. This is where the problem can become more serious. An engine also needs compression. Compression means the engine can squeeze the air and fuel mixture tightly enough for combustion. If compression is too low, the engine may crank, but it cannot run correctly. Most compression problems do not appear out of nowhere without clues. You may have had overheating, a broken timing belt, a jumped timing chain, severe engine wear, a damaged valve, or an internal engine problem. The clue from the driver's seat is often the cranking sound. If the engine cranks faster than normal, or sounds uneven, or sounds like it has less resistance, that can be a warning sign. A normal engine has a steady rhythm while cranking. If that rhythm suddenly sounds strange, the issue may not be fuel or spark anymore. It may be mechanical. Timing is closely connected to this. The engine has to open and close valves at the right time. It has to fire spark at the right time. The pistons and valves need to be synchronized. If the timing belt or timing chain jumps, the engine can crank but not start. If the belt breaks on certain engines, it can cause internal damage. That is why this problem becomes serious if the car died while driving, and now the crank sounds unusual. It is also serious if your vehicle has a timing belt, and it is far overdue for replacement. At that point, keep cranking is not helpful. You are not getting more information. You may only be adding stress to the starter, battery, or engine. Now let's step back and separate the wrong repairs from the likely path. A bad starter usually means the engine does not crank. If your engine is clearly cranking, the starter is usually not the first suspect. A bad alternator usually shows up by failing to keep the battery charged while the engine is running. If the engine cranks strongly but will not fire, the alternator is usually not the direct cause at that moment. A weak battery can still be involved if the crank is slow, voltage is low, or the dash flickers. But if the crank is strong and normal, do not spend all your attention on the battery. For a strong crank with no start, think about what the engine is missing after it begins turning. Fuel, spark, air, compression, timing, computer permission. That is the more useful path. Now imagine 3 different drivers with the same complaint. All 3 say, "My engine cranks but won't start." The first driver has an engine that cranks normally, but it sputtered and died yesterday. That car may be missing fuel pressure, or losing spark, or losing a sensor signal. The second driver has an engine that starts for 1 second, then dies, and there is a flashing security light. That car may not have a mechanical problem at all. The security system may be blocking it. The third driver has an engine that cranks unusually fast after the car shut off on the highway. That car may have a timing or compression problem, and repeated cranking is not a smart move. Same complaint, different clues, different repair path. That is why the phrase "cranks but won't start" is only the beginning. You have to add what the car did before, what it sounds like now, and what it almost does when you try to start it. Now let's make the roadside version simple. You are in the car. The engine cranks. First, listen to the speed. Slow or weak means check battery power, battery cables, and connections. Normal speed means move past the basic starter guess. Next, listen for life. Does it almost catch? Does it start and die, or does it never even try? Almost catching can point toward low fuel pressure, airflow problems, or weak spark. Starting and dying can point toward security, fuel pressure dropping, or idle air problems. Never catching can point toward no fuel, no spark, no injector pulse, sensor signal loss, or timing issues. Then look at the dashboard. A key light matters. A security warning matters. A check engine light matters. A battery light that came on while driving matters. A temperature warning before the shutdown matters. Then think about the story. Did it stall suddenly? Did it sputter? Did it happen after rain? Did it happen after filling up? Did it happen after sitting for a long time? Did it happen after a repair? The story gives direction. And finally, do not keep cranking forever. Short attempts are enough. If the engine does not start, pause and think. Repeated long cranking can drain the battery, overheat the starter, and sometimes make the diagnosis harder. If you smell strong fuel, stop. If the crank sounds abnormal, stop. If the car died while driving, be careful. If the timing belt may have failed, do not keep trying. This is not about being scared. It is about not making the repair more expensive. The goal is to find the missing piece, not force the engine to start. So here's the practical takeaway. If your engine cranks but will not start, the starter has probably already done its job. The alternator is probably not the first thing to blame unless the battery was already going dead while driving. The battery is still possible if the crank is weak. But if the crank is strong, look for what the engine needs next. Fuel to enter the engine, spark to ignite it, air in the right amount, compression inside the cylinders, correct timing, and permission from the car's computer and security system. That is the real diagnosis. Not guessing, not replacing the part you have heard of the most, not assuming every no start is the same. Just asking one better question: what is the engine missing? If your car is doing this right now, pay attention to the exact behavior. Does it crank slowly? Does it crank normally but never catch? Does it start for 1 second and die? Did it stall before this happened? Is there a key light or security warning? Do you smell fuel? Does the crank sound different than usual? Those answers can point you in the right direction before you spend money on the wrong repair. And if you want, comment what your car does when you try to start it. The sound, the dashboard lights, and what happened before it stopped starting can tell a lot.